Real one, good to see you. I don't know what the where the chat went. The chat's gone. You can't even see me yet. Hi. Hi. You're looking at the ground, probably. Hang on, I'm freaking out here, okay? I'm freaking out. What's going on today in the shop? Absolutely nothing. Oh, nice. Lack of a delay. So that's cool. I think it's easier to see the chat this way. I have no headroom. Boop. There I am. Oh, I don't know, bud. We're going to see if anybody actually shows up. But you want to see the new camera? That's going to be our big surprise. And we do have 3 people, so someone else is here. Here he is. He's so cute. Like I said, like the size of my thumb or smaller. Oh, I don't want to break it, of course. There we go. Press that button. I'm really nervous about dropping it. Since you don't know how big my thumb is, here's a Bic lighter, full-size Bic lighter. So this thing is tiny. I think it's smaller than the other ones. I haven't actually gotten out the hat clip and all that yet. There he is. Let me hold on to my #1 spot before Shaggy shows up. I am 2 of the viewers. I didn't say that out loud. So then this goes back in there like that. And basically this in the case is the same size as a regular action cam. It's a little bit thicker. And with all the because there's batteries in the satellite and the base, whatever we want to call them. So the whole setup is a little bit heavier, but the little mini cam is pretty damn lightweight. Let me keep track of this. My motorcycle registration. I have no idea what we're doing today. It's kind of warm out here. I was going to try and set up the software, the alternate software, the Meld Studio software that I'm going to try to use. I need to mute this. Oh, damn it. I guess I just got to do it with the phone controls. Anyhow, the Meld Studio software, which is a streaming software which should allow me to utilize multiple cameras and stuff like that. I did get it set up so that I can use the remote phone or that phone. So I could literally have everything streaming through the laptop upstairs in the office, which would allow me to have multiple cameras. I don't know why I want to do that. I just want the capability to do that. I got to turn this fan because it's hot. So I'm sorry if there's fan noise. Which side is my mic on? That should be fine. I just got to get some sort of air movement. What's the temperature there? Here in the garage right now, we're sitting right at 90 degrees with 60% humidity. I opened the garage earlier, but it's actually hotter out there. Maybe you need mini AC unit that blows cold air just to cool off the location where you sit or work. I mean, a fan does the same thing. The main issue with that is the sound, Because if I'm trying to record, I can't really have a fan blowing directly on the microphone. I don't know if you can hear that. It's not really blowing that hard. But, and I actually have, well, the lights are on up there, but I actually have an overhead, oh God, those are bright. There is actually a fan overhead, but when we set up the garage, the guy that did the electrical was 80 years old, and it was this time of year, so it was, it's probably 150 degrees up there at the top. And so he's working around on a high lift, and I'm just trying at that point, I was just trying to get the job done. And what happened is the lights, I always forget this. The lights are higher than the fan. So if I turn the fan on, the fan blades go underneath the lights and it creates a flickering effect down here, even more than LED lights normally would. Chat filter, all messages. Looks like I got 5 people in here, so this is not going to be a very long live. The last 2 have gone an hour and a half. I'll be surprised if I keep this one going for a half an hour. A, I'm not really feeling it. B, I don't really have anything going on currently that would entertain anyone. Got this spot locked down today. Number 1, yep. The thing is you only get, well, it was 25 points per comment for 3 comments per hour. But then I've seen something change recently where I was only able to do it twice. Is there the damn heart's in the way. Unboxing video of the camera. It will be coming. I'm not going to do a huge detailed unboxing. I've already unboxed it, and I did film that. But what I'm going to end up doing is taking the footage from those 2 other cheapo Amazon versions of the point of view camera and the footage that I get from this, and we're going to make a comparison video as to why I tried 2 different Amazon cameras and went ahead and spent the money and got the real deal. The one time that I filmed anything with this, when I first unboxed it, afterwards I realized that the protective film thing is still on there. And I still haven't pulled it off, obviously. So, I wasn't in the camera. Hang on a minute. Let's try that again. There. Yeah, the protective film is still on the lens. Oh, it's really a nice camera on that phone. Anyhow. Adam Fisher, can you turn in your points for prizes like at the arcade? I could always use a new mustache comb or some wax lips. Hey, Adam. We'll have to contemplate that. But I can offer you these nuts. How many points? I wish I could move this heart thing or get rid of it. It's blocking the chat. How many points for the camera? My new little camera? Yeah, you don't get that. That was $463, I think, after taxes, which is a huge hit for me. But it should help me up my game as far as the film quality, and especially the point of view stuff. When I'm working on something and it's in my hands or whatever, or in an engine compartment and I need both hands, it'll be very handy for that. I wonder if I can lose the heart somehow. Oh yeah. Okay, it is better that way. Can I add stuff? Can I say... Cool. So I guess I can chat from the... Of course I can chat. I'm thinking I'm on the other. Never mind. Anyhow, I'm turning on the vape, which is of course a tobacco product or some other illegal product. Have you ever thought about doing your lives in phone view? I noticed those hit pretty well. People can watch on the phone. People can watch on the phone now. And no, I don't do vertical. Thanks, though. You know how I feel about shorts and all that. No, my format is landscape, horizontal. I'm not doing vertical anything. It would be useless. I'm more concerned about what's going on around me than me. I mean, in the lives, of course, you're talking to me, but anti-vertical, absolutely. Like I said, you want to watch it in vertical, watch it in vertical. But if I'm watching a live stream on my phone, I simply can go like that, and then it will be the full screen. It's really amazing. Low charge. Damn it. There should be enough charge there. Wake up. I always forget you're an hour ahead. Flipping through lives last night, they got some crazy stuff on there. Yeah, hey, wake up. By the way, thanks for joining us. I'm going to run up and grab a battery, y'all, real quick for my device here. I'll be right back. I'm also, well, no, I'll leave that down. I'll be right back. Content live. I just wanted to thank you. Hey, y'all can still hear me. That's funny. Hey, y'all can still hear me. So that's where the multiple cameras could come in. Because if the wireless mic works like this, this could get really interesting and ridiculous. Interesting and ridiculous. So now we know that the wireless mic works from the shop up to the office. So that's cool. He shall be back. Someone turn the camera vertical while he's not looking. Well, it's locked up that way now. So my first live, I was at a car show, and there's a setting that you have to set it horizontal or vertical. And I didn't realize it, but it was set to vertical, but I'm holding my phone horizontal and filming. And so it ended up just ridiculous because the monitor was still showing it the way I wanted it. Mike is making stuff. What it do? What's up, Mike? That's what I was saying, real one. You guys got grounded streams, not wild stuff, just quality content, but I wouldn't have found you guys without sitting through chaos. See, Adam, I'm number 2 now. You in the go. How you been, man? I'm doing all right. Pardon me, I'm just putting a battery into my device. It's a vape. I'm not going to deny it. It's a vaporizer. I'm just not going to say what's in it. But anyhow, what was I talking about? I got to get this fan on me. I must have moved, or it moved, or something. Note to self, guys. I think till it actually cools off, we're gonna stay in the house because this is ridiculous. It's not hot, but it's definitely warm out here. Ran into our dude Schmoke here while we chattered on during vidIQ stuff. Yeah, vidIQ. Hey, Schmoke, just stopping in to say hi. Road Reality, what's going on, man? We're hanging out in the shop today. Man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all, genuinely. I think everybody here knows I'm just trying to build this channel, and like DJ Real One said, I'm trying to be genuine. I'm not trying to do any fake, for lack of a better term, fake ass bullshit. So I mean, I'm not gonna hide what I'm doing or anything like that. If I'm complaining about something, it's because I'm genuinely not happy. I'm not. uh. So anyway, this morning I mentioned to some of the early arrivals, I was trying to set up the Meld streaming software, and I was able to get it to, well, that phone, but regardless, either one, I was able to link the phones to the software. So theoretically, I could use the webcam on my laptop or an alternate webcam source and both of these phones once I get it all going. So I could have 3 different camera angles. I don't know what the point of that would be other than it's cool having the capability. I was having an issue with the sound though, for one thing. Do you and be yourself. I 100% agree with you, Real One. All the vidIQ stuff aside, let my channel maybe inspire you to know your formula works. I don't build polished shit, I don't make professional shit, and I got monetized in like 7 months. We are bringing that back. Yeah, Mike, I've glanced at your channel. I haven't had time recently to really look at it. But my main issues... Pardon me. It's a vape, so you got to get it going a little bit. My main issues are, A, when I first started posting things to YouTube, I wasn't using it. I wasn't trying to start a YouTube channel. I was merely using it as a place to put YouTube or to put videos that I wanted to share on Facebook. And then I did a review on a propane heater, an unboxing and review from Harbor Freight, and that is my biggest video. So that's where the algorithm is looking at. Hell, I'm pulling on my vape too. Sweet. Excuse me. As far as the vidIQ thing, and I'm pretty sure everybody sitting in this room right now understands what I'm about to say, I am not willing to niche down. And like I said, Vicky from vidIQ wants me to just focus on the bug, the 65 beetle over here. And, I could do that, but then I'd just be a beetle page, and I don't want to be a beetle page. I want to do whatever I'm doing in my world and use my personality to entertain, basically. Archive for your kids. I don't have any kids, but absolutely. Yeah, so DJ Real One is doing a lot of, he's a hip hop DJ, if you haven't seen his page yet, and he's trying to do a lot of travel blog too. And, again, if somebody's interested in who I am as a YouTuber, like he said earlier, then they're interested in who I am, not a specific formula of videos that I'm putting together to satisfy an algorithm. And that's the thing, is all these people, especially vidIQ, is like, oh, you got to satisfy the algorithm. And now all of a sudden they're telling everybody, you don't have to satisfy the algorithm, you have to satisfy the audience. And now they're saying, you really need to be genuine, which is all we've been trying to do in the first place. So we're actually ahead of the game for the future, if that makes sense. Beetle smoke, beetle smoke, beetle smoke. Yeah, the algorithm, I don't, and I kept trying to get in discussions with these people. Sorry about all the beeps. It has a 5-minute shutdown, and I don't want it shutting down. I want it to keep going. At least they're consistent in what you need to do. And right, because what that, Adam, I don't know if I know you've got a couple videos up, but mostly just our bartender friends. But what they're trying to do is create that formula that helps the new YouTuber easily accomplish monetization and whatever they're trying to do. And that is the formula, is basically go. I said it in one of my videos, my little rant video. We can study these nuts all day long. And every episode, we can bring a different pair of nuts in and look at nuts. And we can be these nuts, the video channel. And that video, we could grow that channel super fast. Pardon me for the ridiculous, but that's how we roll. Yes, Mike, 100%. If someone doesn't like it, they can skip it. Exactly. And that's what. So the formula that we're following is a slower growth formula. I don't know what Mike did. We're gonna look into him later, because he grew pretty fast if he got monetized that quickly. Again, he may have started, I'm assuming, and focused on doing exactly what we're talking about from the start. My channel existed for probably 9 years as just my YouTube account before I realized that making a channel, I should have started an entirely different account and not made it on that account. But it's way too late for that now. So I think the algorithm is finally kind of catching up with what's really going on. But with the niche, whatever that we're working in, the algorithm isn't designed for that. The algorithm is designed, near as I can tell, for talking heads and very specific niches. I need to just leave my glasses on. 3 channels. Disconnecting some of them works better, though. My channel account existed since 2010. Okay, so you did the same thing. Oh, but you didn't have any videos up. See, dormant is fine. Mine wasn't dormant. Mine, I was uploading things like when I I think some of you have seen I've got some vintage synthesizers. I used to do eBay for a living. And I, without getting too deep into it, I literally found a stack of, I mentioned it in another video, 7 vintage synthesizers, some of which were worth thousands of dollars. So when I was selling those, listing those on eBay, I was using YouTube to film functionality and detailed shots and all that stuff and list it on eBay. That's all I was using it for. And like I said, Facebook. Man, I got all kinds of activity going on here. I can't even keep up. I should dress sluttier. Although the one live that we did where I had the up short, you couldn't quite see my nuts, but I figured if I adjust the lighting, we can work on that. To film the ads makes total sense. I missed something to film for the eBay thing. Yeah. I filmed an ad for my channel also. That's why I got confused. Yeah, Road Reality is a production machine. He's got 3 different channels and he's making a daily video on one of them. Well, obviously he's already talking about it. Yeah, Real One is he's making regular content with a full-time job. I'm blessed in the fact that I am in a situation where I can totally focus on a full-time YouTube thing. However, I also have to do everything else in my world because I'm not married or anything like that. Thankfully, I don't have any kids, but all my responsibilities are my responsibilities. And it's hard for me to focus as much as I should on the YouTube because I'm not monetized yet. So, working especially out here, when it's hot, it's kind of hard to do that, to motivate to do that. Excuse me. Yeah, nope. Not for me, thanks. I mean, again, if you're if you're using it as a hobby, and that's the difference, is if I was working a full-time job, I could see coming home, eating dinner, cracking open a beer, and sitting down and playing YouTube for a little while as my source of entertainment. Like I know I just said it, but for me as a full-time YouTuber, I'm not getting paid, and it's really hard to motivate a lot of times. I suffer from severe depression also, if I haven't let you know that. Suffer. I work with, deal with, whatever. So that's an anti-motivator anyway. But for me to motivate and come out here and spend hours out here in a hot ass garage and not get anything out of it, it's hard to do that. Yeah, but how's your long form doing, real one? This job absolutely I'm going to get rich, but $2 or $3 a month. Yeah, I mean, I've said it in another video. $1,000 a month gets me. I'm elated. If I can make $250 a week off of this, I'm good to go, and it can grow from there. That's great. But I don't need $1 million. I just need something to make it worth coming out here and doing this. It's more of an addiction. Well, I have plenty of those. My long form is trash. No, it's not, real one. It's not at all. It's just that your audience is based on lives and shorts. And I, not to call you out, but the first time we ever talked about this, real one is one of my oldest YouTube buddies. I told you got to put that stuff on a different channel. If you put that travel blog stuff on a different channel, I'll bet it would take off. And you're putting, a lot of people are like, well, I don't have the time to do a second channel. You're putting the same amount of effort in. You're just putting it to you're just sending it to a different address. That's the only difference as far as I'm concerned. Once you get to 500, the game changes. Almost giving up. All I do is love DJing now, but I enjoy making the long form. I genuinely, I think you should start a second channel. It's not that hard. It's not any more work. You're just, like I said, you're uploading it to a different place. 3,000 subs. I haven't even looked. You're up to that? That's awesome. But yeah, your long form, again, most of the people on your channel are looking for live DJ mixes and or your shorts, your verticals. And they're two different audiences. There's no question about it. If you get into some of the discords and some of the discussions we're in, because a lot of the people in this room are also from that the vidIQ Discord, excuse me, and or John Scott's Discord, which is a group of YouTube buddies hanging out, basically. But we've definitely established through our own experiences and discussing it that the long form is not the same audience as shorts, and you cannot overall, I mean, you might be able to get one or two here or there, but it's two different audiences. Half your people who love you will do a membership, and it's like $3 or $4 a month. Game over. You're making what you want. But that's what I'm talking about. I want them to get to know me, not just tune in for the music. You feel me? F that algorithm. What projects are coming down the pipe? Okay, yeah, back to the shop content. Well, first of all, I want to put this where I can sort of see it so I can see if you're in frame. So I'm not trying to do that, but here's our new camera. Once I figure out where we're at. All right, so somewhere around there. Yeah? No, there. Time delay. Hey, there we are. Okay, so this was my new investment, and this is our new, probably not necessarily primary camera, but a good source of footage. And the advantage of this is this little guy pops out of here and will go on my hat, bloop or bloop, so we can get true point of view in 4K And I mean, this thing's pretty cool. I'm sure we could at least turn it on. I don't know how to yet. Because it's got the... Are we here there still? Yes. So it's got the screen, and then if we turn it around and do that, theoretically, yeah, see, now you're monitoring what this guy's looking at. And the beauty of it is that if we take him out, satellite or drone mode, so now, I don't know if you can even see that really. I have no idea what I'm doing here. But anyway, hi. We can use this separately and monitor it on that. I know what all that means, and it's super cool and super important and handy and awesome. But for now, we're going to put it down because we don't want to break it because it costs a lot of money. How are things? We've lost the chat. We've lost the chat. Hello, come in chat. Pew, pew, pew. Live chat, top messages. We're back to that. What projects are coming out? I'm blind as a damn bat, so I put the chat on my shop TV. That thing is cool. That one of the Picasso cameras, I have one, can't get used to using it. Similar to the Osmo, but the detachable camera. Okay, so I have an Picasso sports cam that is the same size as that, and that's basically with the little thing inside of the base. It's the size of a sports cam, and I have an Picasso sports cam additionally. The advantage of this is that little camera that comes out. It's got a half an hour battery life on its own. So I can put that, if I'm working under the fender on the Bug or whatever, I can put that inside the fender. It's magnetic, and I can stick it right where I want it. So it's going to get some killer point of view footage. Similar to the DJI Osmo, I'm not sure which one's the Osmo, but the one that's got the gimbal built into it, I looked at that also, and that's not really useful for me. As a vlogger, it would be useful, but this is way more useful as the point of view thing. How much was it? A lot of money. $463, I think, after tax, tag, title, and all that. And it hurt, like I said, to buy that because I don't have that kind of a budget. But it's an investment, and as far as helping to grow the channel, I think it's a good one. I looked at getting a different phone, but the reality is I don't need another phone. I have the one that I'm using now is a Galaxy S10, and I've never had any complaints on the footage from that. And it does 4K. So if I turn that on to 4K and film with this in 4K, then we've got 4K footage. I bet I have a camera you would love to have. Ever heard of a Cogetto Lucy? See, so the other thing with the Meld software is when somebody says something like that, I'm going to be able to bring it up and bloop, show you the desktop so we can all look at it together. Because right now I can't look it up. I mean, I could, but then I can't monitor the chat. But anyway, I'm not a big camera gear guy or anything like that. Again, I contemplated buying a new phone. The advantage of getting a new phone, I would have gotten the new Flip, the Samsung Flip, because it ends up being this big, has the camera on the front with, you can turn that into a screen so you can get a good monitor of what's going on. But that's the only advantage of that thing. It's exceedingly fragile. It's doesn't do what I want to do with this, and the other advantage is I would have been able to finance it through a phone plan instead of paying cash. Excuse me. Yeah, Rode's got probably a shelf full of camera gear. A Koget Lucy sounds like something you'd ask for in a skeevy massage parlor. Heck yeah. Lucy was the prototype parabolic 360 There's the camera on top of the Street View cars. Huh. That's pretty cool. Well, Wake Up, I appreciate, man. I appreciate you showing up. I appreciate your music that you're making. I'm loving watching that evolve whenever you post something. I got several different. It's very interesting to me, and I'm thankful that I started doing the lives for this reason. Of course, I knew DJ Real One was into music, and a lot of the people that come from his channel are clearly going to be into music. What's interesting that I've discovered, though, is that once I get out of my Schmoke shop content and into the live and went into the music room, for instance, all of a sudden I had all these other people that know me from my shop content piping up about how they're into music too. So, again, the fact that they want you to niche down is frankly bullshit. People are people. If people enjoy different stuff, they're going to come and watch because it's going to be interesting to them. That makes sense to me. I do have a shelf full. You can see it in the background of my talking heads. The metal, yes, I do. Now that you say it, it was subconsciously in there. I think I already knew that. As far as what content's coming down the pipe, Adam, I think I mentioned relatively recently. We'll go into drone mode. I think I can do that. And I don't even need to monitor because I can see it on the camera. Oh, we're tangled up, kids. I'm all tangled up in my monitoring headphones. So, I wish I could zoom out, but it won't let me out. Oh, I can zoom in. It won't let me go wide angle, though. Anyhow, so this motorcycle is the Kawasaki Vulcan. I have a carburetor kit for that. That's going to be definitely coming up soon. One of the main things that I may actually do today, if I decide to stay out here, is this table right here is full of Volkswagen parts. And I have some cabinets. Those are actually cabinets that I grew up with, keeping my toys in. And this rack of stuff right here, I'm kind of going to make a wall. You can sort of see the line. So we're going to do a wall right there and get all this stuff off the table and into cabinets. And then Mr. Hancock will probably get moved over and have kind of a more permanent place over here. As far as other projects, I've got some wood shop stuff that I don't think I'm going to put on the channel just because it's already chaotic enough. And although I will say this, oops, sorry, I'm trying to lock the camera so it doesn't fall off. I did notice that how do I say this? Installing the barn door up in the office, it didn't do well, but it didn't do any worse than any of the other videos. Yamaha Vulcan, that's newer. A 98 Vulcan, a 1500. Okay, well, Road Reality has, I believe, the same one as this is, which is a, oh, I've already forgotten, 2000, and it's a Vulcan 800, I believe. And what was I about to say? Sorry, I'm reading the chat again. Not in the car, Smoke Shot, his music and his personality. Thanks, Real One. If you haven't checked out the channel, Mike, that much, my 800 is a Suzuki Evolution Intruder. Okay, well, so my favorite bike here, speaking of Yamahas, is that one. Which is, sorry, I just had a notification pop up. This is a 1970, I always forget what year. I think it's a 71 Yamaha DS7, which is the predecessor to the RD series. And these guys are old Honda Aero 50s, a matching pair. This is the two-stroke department. This is an old Chiamati, oh, I forget, a city bike, I believe. It's an old moped, but it's pretty much roached. And then the bike that I actually ride sometimes, if you haven't seen it, is that one, which is actually a Tao Motors, Tao, Chinese Amazon Enduro, the one you can buy for $1,500 and have delivered to your door. But it was customized by a guy, and I guess he just worked on it in the evening after work and built it and had a couple issues with it, and I ended up with that bike for $400 and then made it my own. Tao. What else we got? I work in a shop as my 9 to 5, so I learn both ways. I'll pay attention. But wake up, what kind of shop do you work in? I don't know why I left the last word out of that sentence. They are so rarely still stock. Everyone makes cafe racers out of them old guys. Well, you know, and that's why it's sitting right now. I got it. There's a couple of videos on my channel where I got that DS7 running, and it runs, but I haven't ridden it yet or anything like that. It's got the original tires on it, chain and all that, and that's why I haven't really gotten any further into it, is because I don't have the money to restore it as a factory bike. So if I do start putting any time into that, I'm going to turn it into a scrambler little deal, or a cafe racer. I don't know. I'm going to more, again, I don't know exactly where I'd go with it. Probably a flat bar or a short Z bar. I've got a seat for it. Tires, all that stuff. Wake up, number one. Tao. But my thing is, if I do that to that bike, then I want to do it in a manner that won't prevent someone from restoring it correctly. No, that's you guys. So I don't know if you heard me wake up. I was just curious as to if you're willing to share what type of shop you work in. Excuse me. How do I? Hey, look at us going. We're already at 42 minutes. And I said I wasn't even going to make it 30. Thanks, guys. Thank you for being here. I'm at a tire shop. Real old school. That's awesome. So I worked in a small mechanic shop. It was not a real job. It was an under-the-table kind of job. And that was one of my best experiences, except for the fact that, you know, it wasn't very well organized. And my lack of experience in the beginning especially kind of kept me from making good money, because we got paid book hours. But I learned a lot in that shop. But I also, the reason they hired me is because I can, knock on wood, if it has an engine, I can get it running. If it's broken, I can get it running. I'd rather not tear too deep into it, but if it's just been sitting, usually I can get it running. And that's what they brought me in for. Is a friend of mine turned me on to the boss and was like, he had a couple jet skis, a couple go-karts, a couple motorcycles that were just sitting collecting dust because he couldn't get them running. And I went in there and got 3 of them running in 20 minutes. And so I got hired. Excuse me. I don't know if you've seen it, Wake Up, but I've got a little Harbor Freight hand tire machine. I actually put the tires on the Bug myself. Spent a good chunk of time apprenticing from a mechanic and a body man, all the while busting rubber on the tire machine. Yeah, and you know, I've saved just by spending the $50 or whatever it was on that tire machine. I actually usually just end up changing them on the floor with tire irons. But if one's tough, it's easy. It's nice to be able to throw it on there and lock it down. But I mean, doing my own tires, I've saved easily well over $100 every time I play with tires. I can do used tires from Marketplace and stuff, and it saves a lot of money. Excuse me. But anyhow, burp. I'm at this point, guys, unless you got a specific question, I wish I knew how to do car stuff. Well, are you? I don't know if you're mechanical at all. Now, if you still have the balancer with the level bubble, I'm impressed. The only reason I haven't bought one is because they're actually kind of expensive. But I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm going to buy one. I haven't had any issues so far. The bug, I haven't really had it up to 55 miles an hour or anything, and it hasn't really, done anything. Only musical. I would add that to my channel too. What I was gonna say, real one, is people ask me on a lot of this stuff, even just on Facebook. When I built this house, they're like, "How do you know how to do all this?" And I'm not going to deny that I have a lot of knowledge and I'm a relatively well-rounded individual when it comes to stuff like that. But if I don't know how to do it, I look it up on the internet. I mean, we literally live in the information age. Almost all of the information in the entire world is available to a certain degree at our fingertips. People are just don't take the time to do the research. And that's what I do. If I don't know how to do something, I have the confidence in my mechanical abilities to research how to do it and approach it usually. That floor one is my favorite for small tires, but I'm fairly proficient in tire changing. Same thing I got brought in from somebody I know, but he wanted me because he said other shop I was at. Only Gen X and millennials like us understand how freaking Star Trek things are right now. You literally can look up anything and know how to do it. Yeah, and people really don't take advantage of that. It's kind of funny to me. And I can understand not having the capability to. But it's like I have friends that are perfectly capable of doing that and will still ask me that, and I'm like, I'll sit there right in front of them and look it up, and then they go, "Oh yeah, I didn't think about that." It's like, how could you not think about that in this day and age? I want to find I don't know where I put them. Oh well. I was going to show you my tire irons, but I think I put them in a drawer. My uncle who passed away was a funny car racer and a champion in the 80s, so it's in my blood. I just never got into it. Man, I don't know if you have, well, not to get into your personal life, but if you have any chance of getting a hold of any of his stuff, he may have some valuable stuff there. Was doing me dirty. My boss is a real old guy and is taking pretty good care of me. I have way more under my belt than I did 2 years ago. Used to go see him race in the 80s. Yeah, those 80s race car, that stuff is really making a huge comeback in the automotive community. And Wake Up, I don't know where he's at, but Shaggy Man, y'all have all seen him. He worked for a really good company. He had his own company, and then he got tired of dealing with all that. And he went and worked for another company. And without getting into details, he was in a situation that was beautiful as far as people taking care of you. And I agree. An old man, somebody that actually takes care of you as an employer is kind of rare. And if you get it, it's a beautiful thing. Not to get into his personal life, but Shaggy Man had some stuff going on and needed to take some time off. And his company absolutely was like, "No problem, man. You let us know when you're ready to come back and we'll take care of you. Here's your pay. Here's your yearly bonus early just in case you need it," that kind of situation. 80s Top Fuel. That old John Force, yeah. No idea what I'm doing. I personally never saw myself in the car industry, but I can do a lot now. I think his crew was called Wheeler Dealer. I've been into cars for as long as I can remember. I remember always being curious about my dad's cars. He was never a car guy, but I was always curious. And then there was a guy in my neighborhood when I was like 8 years old. I used to ride around the block because back then you could do that without worry. And He was restoring an old school Jag, like the beautiful old Jags, the two-seaters. And I got to hand him wrenches and stuff, and that was my first real taste, and the bug bit me then, and I haven't let go since. Boss's a drag car, and 31 two-door with no rust. Yeah, you know, I love Mr. Hancock, my bug, but he's rusty as hell. And I'd love to build an old rat rod. DJ Real One, his friend Tim, mentioned being an engine builder. And, you know, I would love to build a badass motor and a badass little hot rod and try not to get in trouble with it. Old school street rod, like, early 30s. That would be so awesome to me. And I don't care if it's a rat rod, I'm totally down with that. But just something in the motorcycle world, what we would call a bar hopper, which is, I don't need to necessarily go that far above the speed limit, but I want to go 0 to the speed limit very fast. I was in school in the 80s and had cars all the kids thought were goofy. I loved them. Studebaker Commander. My dad had a Studebaker Commander. 58 Chrysler. I had a 55 Chrysler Windsor. 1956 rather, Chrysler Windsor. New Yorkers, very, very similar cars. Actually, the Windsor was just a lower trim line. So Mike, I think we're similar ages. I think Real One is too. I just turned 52. But yeah, man, I was I had a car club in the 80s. I was the co-president of a car club. Yeah. 54. Okay, so yeah. I am not similar age. DJ Real One is younger, but not that much younger. 31 is for sale for 9. He got it running if you know a guy. Much younger? Okay. Well, I don't know. You must have been really young when if you were doing DJ stuff in the 90s then. But anyhow, maybe you were 8 years old. I don't know. Yeah, $9,000. I mean, that's the thing is getting back into the budget. I don't know if Road Reality's in here or mentioning budgets earlier. I don't have that kind of money. The money that I spent on this camera, I was joking in one of the Discords. If I spend $400 or $500 on something, I'm expecting to get it running and sell it for $1,000 or $1,200. I started DJing at 16. Wow, so you were young. I'll let you get back at it, Schmoke. Glad to catch you live, brother. I got to get back to editing soon. Well, Mike, I appreciate you popping in, man. I genuinely do. We got actually 10 people, it says, watching right now. Just turned 47. Okay, well, that's not that much younger, biatch. Less than 10 years, my friend. 5 years young. Yeah, that's 5 years. I remember, this is something I was just contemplating. Y'all come through the shop if you get the urge. Take care, y'all. Definitely, Mike. I'm going to check it out probably when I get off of here. Then I will retire from YouTube. So you're going to quit the YouTube job and go focus full-time on the real job. Well, financially, that's probably the better scenario. It's funny, that 5 years thing, when we're in like high school, that's such a huge deal. But when you get into your 40s, 5 years is like nothing as far as I'm concerned. Anyhow, like I said, I think less than 10 years club too, till you retire or till you hit 50. I'm going to say it again. Anyhow, like I said, I think I'm going to wrap this up, guys, because I could sit out here and bullshit with y'all all day, but I know Real One's going to have to go to work, and I need to try and accomplish something today because I didn't accomplish anything yesterday. I just was not feeling it at all. I actually ended up. Oh, I know why. Because I was up at DJ Real Ones with our live on Friday night up until 2 or 2:30, and then I stayed up because I had just cracked open a fresh beer, so I stayed up playing on the internet for another couple hours. So I did not function yesterday. 20 years younger than DJ Real One. Well, wake up, not to call you out, but I kind of knew you were the young buck in the room. But oh man, oh, good night. Sleepy time too. Like I said, I'm tired. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna wrap this up. Peace, y'all. Thank you all for stopping in. I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. Go check out DJ Real One's long form content. He's got some good travel stuff. He just did he went to Chicago and he just posted up about that trip. There's some neat stuff if you've never been to Chicago. Joint is on a Sunday afternoon. Joint, whatever. It's all the same thing. Love y'all. Peace. And we out.